Mr. Vice President, distinguished delegates, colleagues. Before I begin, I wish to extend my prayers and deepest sympathies to the families who have lost loved ones and to all my fellow Afghan citizens for the devastating earthquake that has struck Afghanistan. Members of the Council, thank you for the opportunity to address you today. Since the Taliban's takeover, our organization, DROPS, has surveyed over 69,000 women and held focus groups with 4,000 participants. And across every issue, whether it be justice, education, work, or aid, the message is the same. Afghan women are being silenced. The Taliban claim improved governance by citing territorial control and averting economic collapse. But governance without justice is not governance. It is authoritarian rule, which they sustain through coercion, detention, and repression that Afghan women and girls endure daily. Across Afghanistan, women's testimonies expose systemic violations under the Taliban's promotion of virtue and prevention of vice law. Since the implementation of this law, women have described harsher restrictions on mobility, primary education, work, and healthcare. In Bamyan, one woman shared, "They first warn, then threaten, then beat you. One woman I know was taken and never returned the same." The law has turned male relatives into enforcers, punishing men if women disobey. As one woman in Balkh explained, "Our men follow these rules not because they believe in them, but because they are scared of being shamed or imprisoned." Now, nowhere is this more evident than in the justice sector. We asked 6,500 women in 33 provinces, what issues do women seek legal services for? And the response was shattering. 45% said domestic violence and abuse. The rise in domestic violence is fueled by the Taliban system of gender apartheid, which traps women at home, strips them of protection, and then weaponizes the law against them. The Taliban insist their justice system is free of corruption, but women tell us otherwise. Only 4% of those surveyed saw any improvement in access to legal services. Most said they turned to local dispute mechanisms or existing civil society legal aid networks, while just 23% rely on Taliban courts, which women describe as humiliating, deeply exclusionary, and rife with harassment. One focus group participant from Herat explained, "Even with the video of rape, the court demands witnesses from the women." In Tahar, another recounted being told by officials, "You should have been killed before coming here." For the few women who risk approaching the courts, they face yet another wall of obstacles. The PVPV law, the morality police, the Mahram requirement, and in many areas, the absence of functioning institutions altogether. We found that women are now overwhelmingly turning to family elders, then to jirgas or shoras to resolve these issues. But we are told these are not places of justice, but of necessity. As one participant put it, we are first forced to choose between two bad options, and we choose the less harmful one. Women recall to us with nostalgia the safe houses and the NGOs that once defended their rights. Today, despite shrinking civic spaces, some organizations operate clandestinely. They are beacons of hope, and they need your sustained support. Members of the Council, these accounts point to a fundamental denial of due process in equal protection. Poverty and unemployment exacerbate these conditions, driving families to force daughters into early marriage and reinforcing economic dependence. Policy responses must therefore focus not only restoring credible legal support structures within Afghanistan, but also in mobilizing international accountability frameworks to challenge these entrenched violations. In light of these findings, I urge you to build on Resolution 57.3 and urgently establish an independent international accountability mechanism for Afghanistan, mandated to investigate violations, preserve evidence, and advance accountability. This is the call of 108 Afghan, regional, and international human rights organizations. Second, while civic space has shrunk, Afghan report that some civil society still operate. These groups are a vital lifeline, and they must be preserved. Afghan women are not silent. And in October of this year, a coalition of Afghan civil society organizations will convene the People's Tribunal for Women of Afghanistan in Madrid. This is a historic step where Afghan women will speak for justice, and I urge you to listen. Respected council members, Afghan women's voices are clear, and their message is urgent. Without justice, without restoring their rights, there can be no governance. It is the responsibility of this council to ensure they are heard and acted upon. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.